What's up, everyone? It's Chicks in the Office with Rhea and Fran, giving you that Friday energy on a Friday. Yeah, that felt good.
I got the sweatshirt on and everything.
Yep, you do. It looks fantastic on you.
Thank you.
Purple is popping off your skin. It looks amazing. It's popping off the skin. I just got so excited because I just realized it was Thursday. I didn't even know what day it was. It's been a long week.
It has. It definitely has. They're filming a Survivor show in the office right now, and Rhea is not a contestant, yet she is basically on the show.
Yeah, we can't get into too many details.
No, we can't.
Because
save it for the episodes.
Yeah, save it for the episodes. But yeah, I don't know how that happened. It's, it is what it is.
It's going to be, honestly, it's going to be like must-watch television. I really think it is.
Behind the scenes, this is the problem. And I said this before to the people who put it together.
Yeah.
I said, I find it offensive that Fran and I were not asked to be a part of this because we are the reality TV show queens.
True.
Like, not even being
However, I have legit never
no.
watched one episode of Survivor.
I used to watch Survivor all the time with my parents. It's not even that. It's just reality TV in general. We know how reality TV works.
Yes.
I was like, not even to be contestants on the show.
Right.
Maybe help produce, do some games, whatever it may be. Like, I'm offended you guys didn't ask me and Fran.
We would have been fantastic to do confessionals.
Yeah.
Get people to really spill the secrets.
Exactly. Yeah. Really good.
Yeah.
So I was like, I'm a little offended you guys didn't ask us. So I think maybe next time we might be included because
Right. I definitely don't miss having to sleep in the office. Like, that's...
You've done it before?
No, I'm saying I'm saying, like, I am okay with not being a contestant because therefore I would have to be sleeping in the office, and I don't think I could do that.
Personally, for me, I wouldn't
You could
care.
do it.
I could do it.
You could absolutely do it.
I love being...
You would have no problem doing it. I don't think I could.
I have no issues staying here all night long.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I feel comfortable here.
Yeah.
And so I have no issue with it.
I need my me time.
Would freak out.
Yeah, I would.
You would have a freak out.
Yeah. I don't think I'd be able to do it.
Fair enough. Like,
I really need my Fran time. It's like when I go home, I'm in my apartment alone, and I just kind of like do nothing for a little bit. Like,
exactly.
I need that time to keep me sane.
That's a good thing to have. I hate being alone with my own thoughts.
Yeah.
So it's, as much as I can like be distracted,
right.
I like
While
that.
you were paying attention to what was going on, I was home watching more television.
Yeah, and I just
alone.
fill Fran in. So I just she knows.
It's like I'm there because you just tell me anyway. So it works out just fine. Other than that, like you said, long week, Friday. You haven't watched it yet, but I'm gonna give everyone a TV show homework assignment if people haven't watched it yet, because I want to talk about it on the show. Fate, the Winx saga. I know that I didn't think I would be, well, that's not true. Of course I am talking about this show. New Netflix teen drama. It's about fairies. It's a little Hogwarts-esque, but they're fairies. It's based on, if you ever watched the animated Nickelodeon show, Winx, the Winx Club. It's based off of that, and it's fantastic. It's 6 episodes, so easy to watch. Like I posted about it on Instagram and got a lot of messages of people being like, literally watched it in one night. Like, it just went by so fast. My sister texted me last week about it and was like, no one I know has watched it yet. You need to watch it right now. I need to talk to somebody about it. It's great, super entertaining as far as, the classic Netflix teen drama goes. So just need you to get on that, and everyone will talk about it maybe next week.
That's my next show. That's what I have planned to watch as my next show, because I needed a new show. I feel like it's been a little bit until we've had a new show. Well, no, we were talking about Cobra Kai last week.
Yeah.
But
Bridgerton.
just Bridgerton. It hasn't been a long time. Every week we have a new show we watch.
Have you guys heard about The Wilds?
Yes.
My friend was
talking. Started that last night.
Yeah, my friend was
recommend?
texting me about
it's
that last night.
entertaining. Yeah, it's kind of like Survivor-esque, where it's
kind of like Lord of the
Yeah.
Flies, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, and that's on Amazon, right? Yeah, okay. So that's one we'll put on the list. But first...
Okay, first I'll watch. See, knowing me, I'll go home and I'll watch The Wilds.
Yeah, she's totally... God damn it, Noah. No, she's going to text me on like Saturday and be like, The Wilds is so good. And I'm going to be like, did you start Fate? And she's going to send me the emoji like, oops. I'm like,
no, I won't do that.
Damn it.
I won't do that, but now The Wilds is in my head again.
It's only 6 episodes.
Perfect.
And they're not even a full hour. They're like 50 minutes.
I could do that in one night.
Yeah.
Easy peasy.
It's like, it goes so fast.
G-easy.
Yeah, it goes so fast.
Yeah, no, I'll watch that for sure.
Yeah.
Any movies that you've watched recently?
I haven't watched anything since I watched Promising Young Woman.
Neither have I.
Not movie-wise.
Yeah, neither have I. Movies are a little harder to watch these days.
Movies
the
are tough
attention spans are...
And it's also like, I don't know what's good. Because the movies that are coming out like in theaters and also video on demand... there isn't as much promo around them because I think studios are just like, this movie's coming out now, and like they hope for the best, but we don't really get a lot of details about some of these newer movies that are coming out. Like Promising Young Woman, I didn't see like a commercial for like nothing. I only saw it because I even only heard of it because Kelly Keegs had texted us saying we needed to watch it. I had no idea it even existed. Yeah. So it's harder. I know. Netflix is doing their like a new movie every week thing all year long, and we'll have tons of Netflix movies. I do want to watch. I don't know. There's a few on Netflix that I want to watch, but I haven't. Not since Promising Young Woman.
Yeah, neither have I. Life update. Norman learned how to sit. And I just wanted to get that out there.
So proud of him.
I'm so proud of him. I didn't teach him. My mom did.
Yeah.
So shout out to my mom who taught Norman how to sit. It's a long time coming. People are probably like, Rhea, you've had your dog for a little bit now. Yeah. Why did he not know how to sit? I didn't teach him how to sit. That's really the...
Did he ever sit before that, just like on his own or no?
On his own, yeah. No, yeah. He stood up all the time, Noah. No,
no, I feel like I've never, at least on like online, I've never seen him like sitting down. It's always like running around. Or...
Yeah. No, he would sit on his own, but now he sits on command, and it's a beautiful thing. It's really... It's good. It's good to have. It's good to have up your sleeve. So thanks, Mom.
Training. Incredible.
Yeah, actually, my parents are getting super pissed at me because, they say they're not, and they're going to be mad that I'm saying this, but they've been basically watching Norman this week. Like, I don't really know why. Like, I don't know. I've been staying at my house on Long Island, not because me and Hank are like, I don't want people to think that. But
Hank was traveling.
So I'm trying to be safe about it.
Yeah, exactly. Hank was traveling for work, so in order to be safe about it,
he's going to get tested a few times, and then I will return home. But I don't want to put myself...
And like you're in the...
Yeah. So I just don't want to... Whatever. We get tested multiple times a week here, but I just wanted to make sure that he's good before I return back to my apartment. So my dog has been at my house on Long Island. My parents they say that they're fine with it, but I hear them on FaceTime because they're Italian and loud and they think I can't hear them.
Yeah.
But I hear them complaining about Norman. I hear them complaining about him.
It's also that's also so typical of that said Italian family to like go complain about something to a relative that you don't actually care about.
Right. I'm
like to be like, oh, the dog, Norman, he's here all week. And in reality, they're like immediately coming down the stairs and being like, Norman, we love you. Like, it's just, sometimes it's just complaining to like complaints.
Right. And he's like, he knows where to go to the bathroom at my apartment because he's trained there. But at home, at my house on Long Island, he's very confused on where to go to the bathroom. So obviously,
you have a backyard at home. He doesn't. You don't have a backyard in New York City.
Well, not in that way. So like, I'm in the city in the apartment. We have a terrace. He goes out on with a little patch of grass. So he knows that patch of grass is for him to go to the bathroom.
Yes,
he has so much grass in the backyard on Long Island that he's confused. He's so confused. So he's having some accidents. So I hear them complain about Norman, and then I call them out on it, and I'm like, I'll say to Norman like, oh, Norman, don't worry, we can go home soon, they're getting tired of you. And I'll say that in front of them, and they're like, what makes you say that? I was like, I hear you guys. And they're like, you're making that shit up. I'm like, I hear, like, you guys are so loud, you don't realize I can hear you on the phone. Like I can hear it even though I'm staying away from you guys and I'm up in my room. When I get home, like, I can hear you guys. So even though Norman learned how to sit,
it's all right. You'll be home soon enough.
Soon enough.
But he learned how to sit.
But he learned how to sit.
It's a victory.
No, it's great. I've felt great this week.
Yeah.
I'm like, this is awesome. My dog knows how to sit. My parents are taking care of him. It's great.
Yep. Works out for you. Definitely. There was one. Okay. Guys. We have, first of all, Jen Shah is on today's podcast. I know. Yes. I hyped up. I was thinking about this after I posted about having guests I was really excited for. And then I was like, oh, am I going to confuse people with the Friday episode when Jen Shah is on? Like, so just quick little programming sitch. We're about to interview Sam Heughan, and then Priyanka Chopra Jonas is after that. And both of them will be airing in the following weeks. You know, they're promoting things that are coming up. So we are recording it, which, you know, that's why I'm very excited. So I want to share this now and get it off my chest before everybody listens and they're like, Fran, the color of red you are in this interview is not normal. So I posted about it because I was freaking out. I love out. I don't really talk about it that much on the show, because it was almost like pre-Chicks in the Office days when I loved Outlander so much. And I still love it. It's a fantastic show. And it's on Netflix more, so I feel like more people are getting into it. Outlander is fantastic. And in 2016, I didn't even work here. It was like I was still a student, like just living my life in 2016? New York. Yeah, end of September 2016.
Oh.
Yeah. I was hired 2017.
I was hired in September 2016,
yes.
I got it.
You were here working.
I was here.
You were here working. I was in line at the barber store.
yeah.
Basically,
so really not, because I wanted to point out that it wasn't too far before Chicks in the Office started.
No, not at all. Oh my God. One of my friends texted me last night and was like, Fran, you really I gotta find what she said, because I was like, oh no. It was almost borderline like, this is... Take a look in the mirror, Fran. What's going on? Oh,
I would say it's a good thing.
Goes, Fran, you really were a big celeb fan as a kid. A lot of meet and greets and concerts. And I was like, I met Sam in 2016. Was not a kid.
Yeah.
Waited in line for a long time. But I wanted to tell the story before the interview so people have a little bit of the background of like where this even came from, because I posted the photo on Instagram. He was like a brand ambassador for Barber. He had posted that he was doing a little meet and greet situation at the barber store on the Upper East Side. They were only letting in like 25 people. So you had to come, wait in line, whatever.
Exclusive.
Outlander, from the beginning, it has spread so much more, but at the beginning, Outlander was really big with the older woman crowd. I think it's because, you know, there's books. The women had read the books, loved the books. When they turned it into a show, they loved the show. The event, I think, was supposed to start at maybe like 2 or 3 o'clock, like later in the afternoon. And I was like, okay, I'm not going to wake up crazy early, but I'll go at like 9 a.m. And
What? Fran.
And if there's so many people waiting in line, like I'll just go home. But if there's not, then I'll stay. I talked myself into it. So I get there and there's like 12 women online, and I'm the youngest by far, by far the youngest. And they're so funny because they were keeping track of because they knew how many people were going to be allowed in the store. So each lady had a permanent marker number on their hands, like they were counting them, so that it would when the store would open, they'd be like, "Here we are, we have our numbers, like we've been here." So I was number 13.
Lucky 13.
and we stayed there all day. It was like there were women in their probably 40s and 50s, and then closer to the time that Sam
what was the temperature?
Arrived, it was September. It was nice. It was a beautiful fall day. It was actually, I think maybe September 16th to be exact, which is Nick Jonas's birthday. And so anyway,
I just keep going. I just keep on going.
Well, let me check my Instagram, because then I'll be able to tell you. It was on September 22nd. So it was 2 days after my own birthday. Celebrating. It was a gift to myself.
Of course.
When the time was coming for him to arrive, so many people showed up. Like there was people across the street, around the sidewalks. Like so many people were trying to catch a glimpse at him, and that was like, oh, us ladies that knew we were getting the store. Yeah. We were like,
you were number 13.
Yeah, just don't let anybody get in front of us. These are the women. Like the woman in the front kept telling the barber store security officer, like, these are the guys, the 25 behind me, no one else, whatever, the whole thing. So it was like you got to go in, browse through the store. They had a photo booth situation set up. And I don't know. And I think it was because, I can't remember exactly, but I do think it was because there were other women who were doing the kiss on the cheek situation. Because now today, I'm like, that was super aggressive.
Yeah, that was super aggressive.
Super aggressive.
But maybe he was like, she's the only young girl here.
So I'm
gonna
spinning
kiss
it
her on
as
the
like,
cheek.
okay, he definitely wasn't that upset about it. But
yeah.
But I mean, first of all, you can see in the pictures how red I am. I was so flustered. And I'm wearing a black shirt. So like I just really looked very red. But he was so sweet, and he was like, you got to pick 4 different poses, and all the ladies were picking the poses and whatnot. So I had the picture. It's literally on my apartment, like coffee table, like still.
I've been hearing about this picture for 4 years. Like,
Yeah,
no
it's
joke,
there.
ever since I've met you, I've heard
It's
about
on my
this.
Instagram.
And
I
so
don't have, the physical version I actually have, but
how badly Fran wanted him on the show. I'm so happy that it happened.
this is
because
like the
has been,
4th time.
Yeah, it's been in the works for like years, possibly.
Actually years.
That he may be coming on the show. And it was so close.
So we've been
every
so close
time,
so many times.
And it finally happened. So I'm really happy for Fran. And as for the meet and greets and the many meet and greets you've been to,
Yep.
I admire the dedication that you have to the people that you are a fan of. I really
Thank
do,
you.
because I, for one, would never like get
Yeah.
online at 9 a.m. And that's not to sound cool. Like, I'm not like, I would never stay on
No,
that line.
For Harry
like,
Styles, you wouldn't.
for Harry, yes.
So there's always one person.
Yeah, but like some, like
I've got a lot of people though.
Fran-
Like I've
no,
done
but
it for the
Fran's
Jonas
done it for-
Brothers.
I've never done it before because there hasn't been any. I
Yeah.
could have like
Justin
I could have
Bieber.
done it for Harry Styles, but
You would do it for Justin Bieber, probably.
I would not.
No, I don't
I
think she
would have
would.
done
Not
it years
now.
ago
Not
if
now.
I was gonna.
Justin Bieber.
I did not. I wasn't a fan of Justin Bieber when I was
Yeah.
younger. Sorry,
Yeah.
Justin, don't get mad at me or the people listening. I really was not
Yeah.
like a big Bieber fan. I liked his music. I actually didn't get into Justin Bieber until Purpose came out,
Yeah.
to be completely honest. But I admire it because, like I said, I'm not trying to be cool. Like, I would never wake up at that time to go see it. Like, I'm just entirely too lazy. So like,
I'm really dedicated.
You're
to
a
the,
dedicated
to the fan game, and the Jonas
fan
Brothers did
girl.
that for me. Like I just waited for so many things for the Jonas Brothers that like when the Sam Heughan thing, it was like, I'll bring a book. It's like 6 hours. Like it's nothing. I had nothing to do with my day,
Yeah.
so it was fine. Didn't have class or anything. And then, but it's like Justin Bieber before he went on the Today Show. And this was, I forget what year it was exactly, but it was to promote the Christmas album. It's a long time ago. And I've already talked about how I waited in line to meet him at the Nintendo store. That was like when he was a baby.
I also think you're the oldest in your family, right?
Yeah.
So you're like the first to do all of this.
Yeah.
I was the youngest. And by the time my parents got to me, like, they didn't really want to do anything for me, you know? Like they didn't like drive me anywhere to like.
Well,
like,
my
it was
mom
always
certainly
somebody
didn't.
else.
Yeah, my mom certainly didn't like wait with me. It would
Yeah.
be like a drop off situation. It was. I guess
They'll
actually it
get
was
mad
really
I said that. My dad drove me like 3 or 4 times a week to go to auditions into the city. So I had to give that shout out to him.
I guess maybe it was Harry Potter that did it for me first. Like I would wait in line for the midnight premieres of the books, but the Justin Bieber Today Show performance, me and my friends we got a hotel room like in Times Square. Not even Times Square, it was by Rock Center because that's where he's performing. Just for literally like somewhere to put our bags down because we did not sleep. We went there over at night and then maybe we slept a little bit and then we got up at like 4 a.m. to go get in line for the performance at the Today Show. And it was like raining. It was awful. It was miserable. But
is this all
stayed
to
the whole
just get a
time.
glimpse of them in person? Mm-hmm. Because that's also what I don't get. Like,
it was to be. We were pretty close to the show. Like we were not that far away from
like
him.
you had such a love for these people that you needed to see them.
There's
in
people
person.
that wait for days.
I know, it's
intense,
insane.
Like
I admire it just because I don't.
I never
think I
did
would
the
ever
overnight
care that
thing,
much,
but
I would do it for John Mayer.
hours upon hours I've
Actually,
done it.
like pretty much have.
Yeah.
Have you ever met John Mayer?
No. We have
The
an
way he
autograph
said that
with
was
him.
like,
Yeah,
no.
yeah. He was like, I'm really.
It sounded
upset
like
about
maybe
it.
there's been some attempts.
Remember when we saw Noah at the John Mayer concert?
Don't bring this up. Let's just get into the topics.
Okay, he completely ignored us. That's fine.
Well, he was with his friends, and we
we looked
totally
like
embarrassed mommed him.
Yeah,
like,
we were
Noah!
like,
We were like, oh my God, look at him singing with his friends.
Yeah, we were like, he has friends.
I mean, it literally crossed my mind. Like I think you told me you were going. I'm like, fuck. Like, but I'm like, it's MSG. Like, I'm not gonna.
Well,
see
it was
them.
also
And then
funny
you're just
because
there,
you guys
like-
had great seats. You were like on the floor, so you were so easy to spot
Yeah.
because we were up. We were like lower level, but up a little
Yeah.
higher. So we had a direct view.
You know what I love? That was me, you, and Trent who went before
Yeah.
Trent was even on Chicks in the Office.
Yeah.
The three of us went to a John Mayer concert.
I think
did.
you
the night
guys
before
left
my
and Trent
birthday.
stayed by himself too.
Yeah,
he
we
did because we went
And I
to a
respect
club.
that.
It was my birthday, I remember.
Oh yes, correct.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I was like, I want to go to the John
I was
Mayer
like, why
concert,
we leave
but I
early?
also
But-
want to go to the club.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
we're going to
Yeah,
do half
we
and
did
half.
both.
And then, Trent did stay by himself and watch
Yeah.
the whole concert. He
Yeah.
loves John Mayer as well. You two both. Maybe you guys should go to a meet and greet together
That would be awesome.
and document it.
Yeah.
The Chicks in the Office
Hey, I mean,
listeners would
still
love
holding
that.
out hope that one
Yeah.
day he'll be.
So anyway,
Johnny
I'm very
boy.
excited.
Yeah, so anyway, Fran is so excited
super
for
excited
Sam.
for Sam because
I'm-
it is one of these like manifest situations where guys, we have almost booked him so many times. We're like, the last time I thought we had him, like I told my mom, I told my friends,
Yeah.
and then the timing didn't work out. And I was so sad. So this one, I waited to tell anyone until it was like in my calendar.
I'm hoping you just take over the interview because I'm nervous because I know nothing about him. Like
Yeah.
I since last night have been searching Sam Hewen, no joke, and I'm like trying to write down all these questions.
Yeah, you're doing
And-
this for me. This is
and
a gift.
It
for
is a
me.
gift for Fran, and of course, I'm not gonna be like, no,
Yeah.
I don't like him. Don't have him
Yeah,
on the
yeah.
show. I would never
Yeah.
do that. Like there are guests where it's like
And
Fran's really
you
excited
haven't
about
watched
them, or
Outlander,
like
so you don't even
I'm really
know.
yeah. There's certain guests where we're equal excited about,
Yes.
or like you're really excited, or like I'm really excited.
Yeah.
Most of the time, you're
Yeah,
really
yeah.
excited. I
have the
it's-
fangirl blood a little bit more than you
it's
do.
more so that I get very nervous.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
get very, very nervous
yeah.
before interviews. And so it completely just like, I do it every interview where I'm like, guys, I'm so nervous. I'm so nervous. I don't know what to say.
Yeah.
I don't know what to say. And then
And
I
every
just,
time I'm like, it's fine. It'll be fine.
and then every time at the end, it's like, that was
Well,
great.
that was great.
And
Yeah,
it's like,
that was great.
I asked questions like a normal person,
Yep.
and it just
Yep.
flowed out of my
Yep.
mouth. But I am currently we're recording, and in 20 minutes we're interviewing
Mm-hmm.
Sam, and I'm freaking out just because I didn't watch Outlander. I there wasn't time to watch 6 seasons or 5
No,
seasons
yeah,
of
yeah.
Outlander,
Yep.
and I'm nervous about it.
Yeah, that's
So,
look.
I think we're gonna let
it'll be
Fran really
great.
just
It'll be
dive
great.
in.
I'm a little like freaking COVID. I wish this was in person. So
Would you be able to
bad.
handle it though in person?
Yes.
Who was it that we were like freaking
Sometimes
out?
sometimes the Zoom makes me more nervous.
It's the awkward Zoom talk.
Because it's way harder to break the ice. Like in person, you have that awkward moment right at the beginning and then you get comfortable with them. Zoom, it's way harder to get comfortable.
Can I admit something?
Sure.
Whenever we do interviews on Zoom, I always act like I'm doing something before. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
You notice where I'm like,
Yes.
1 second, just making sure
I
everything's
have
good.
noticed
Yeah.
that.
Where
now that you
I
say it.
just
She's like, all right,
You're like-
hold on, we're almost
kind of like
ready.
you're-
Yeah, okay.
I just-
Yeah, you like
yeah.
almost ignore them at the beginning. They're like, "Hey," and
no.
you're like, "Oh."
I always say hey. First.
No, you say it back.
But then I start clicking around and like acting like I'm preparing, and just because it's so awkward to sit over Zoom with someone that you're about to interview. It's incredibly awkward.
Yeah.
So yeah, I can't wait till we can get some people
Yeah,
in
I'm just
person.
really exactly. I
Also,
can't wait
we're
for that, too.
gonna have a new studio soon,
Yes.
so that's
Yes,
exciting news.
hopefully very
So if you
soon.
watch on YouTube, you'll highly enjoy that.
Yeah.
All right. I think it's time to get into the topics for today's episode. Like Fran said, we have an interview with Jen Shah from Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, which was very interesting if you watch this week's episode and prepare for the finale next week. You obviously know lots of shit is going on with Jen, so it was good to
Big
have her
time,
on the
big
show.
time. The drama has been so much drama on that show.
Yeah.
Like I really enjoy watching it every week. The Housewives, some of the Housewives, not that they've gotten stale, but like there just needs to be some changes in some of the shows that have been around for so long. Because this is fresh, it just feels, it's good. It's fresh drama.
And we talk about it with Jen, Utah, we learn more about that, so it's very interesting. Also,
Utah.
Yeah, Utah in general, we're from New York.
Question mark.
Halsey is pregnant, and we learn more about her baby daddy. Nikki V, a.k.a. Nick Viall, has a new girlfriend. Hannah Brown has a new boyfriend, which, by the way, if you heard that on the last podcast that we were going to talk about it, it's because we were going to talk about it and then decided to save it
and then
for
we
this
went
podcast.
Too long.
And
we went too long.
We went too long, so we were like, all right, we'll save
roll
it for the
it
next
over
podcast.
to next week.
And Noah was supposed to cut that part out, and he didn't. So,
tisk. Sorry.
Yeah. And then, thanks to Noah, we had a bunch of people asking us why we didn't talk about that. So thank you, Noah. Kristen Stewart, pictures of her looking like Princess Di have been released, and we're gonna maybe take back what we said about Kristen Stewart once upon a time. And Demi Lovato is going back to TV. She will be starring in a new sitcom called Hungry. So let's get into it, starting off with Halsey. Big news for Halsey. She announced with some pregnancy photos that she is pregnant. She's expecting her first child with a new guy that we've never even heard of until now. We didn't know Halsey was dating anybody, but it seems like they have been in a relationship for a while now, and they're having a child together.
Yeah, this definitely came as a surprise. So happy for Halsey, because Halsey has been so vocal about wanting to be a mom and wanting to start a family. She's talked about how she had that miscarriage in, I believe it was 2015 when she was on tour. So she's shared a lot of these very intimate moments in her life. And I, like you said, did not realize she was dating someone new. I guess there has been some paparazzi photos here and there of Halsey and Alev is his name, Alev Aiden, the two of them together. I believe a few months ago they were seen buying paint supplies, things like that. So we just didn't know, or maybe just not paying close enough attention. There was some back and forth social media posts, and I think Halsey had posted towards the end of the year on her story about being super grateful for him, things like that. They have apparently been friends for quite some time. They have known each other for a while. They haven't necessarily been dating that whole time. I think the romantic side of their relationship has come more on the recent side. They did get matching tattoos in June while they were at Joshua Tree. He is 37, Halsey is 26. They got coordinating foot tattoos with the word seeds in each other's handwriting on their feet. And this woman, Amanda, who owns the tattoo parlor that they went to in Joshua Tree, said that everything with how the planets were aligned and where the cosmos were at the moment indicated that it was the best time to plant seeds into the ground of life. They wanted to get the words on their feet because it was closest to the earth. This is very interesting. I feel like it was almost their way of tattooing seeds on their feet as they were pulling energy from the ground into their feet, into their bodies.
To create a seed inside of Halsey?
Yeah, for whatever reason, cosmic reasons. They were in Joshua Tree. And this was in June. So this was 7-ish months ago. She obviously was not pregnant at that time.
No. When you go to Joshua Tree, you're doing shrooms. That's automatically what I believe.
Just assume,
people in Joshua Tree.
I just feel like all rules are thrown out.
Joshua Tree, they go out the window. You get there, you do shrooms, and you find the energy in the earth, and you feel what's going on in nature. And so I feel like that's what happened here. Trent did mention on the group chat, which I thought was a good point. He said maybe they were trying to get pregnant, and that's why they went here and they got the tattoo seeds, because they want to plant that seed and get that energy and manifest that. So I feel like that is possible. And I'm also just really, really happy for Halsey in general, because she did suffer a miscarriage that she had talked about, which is obviously really heartbreaking. And obviously, G-Eazy, we won't go into that. She had to deal with all of that drama. And so I've been hoping that Halsey would find somebody that she really loves and get pregnant, and because she's always talked about how badly she wants to have a kid and be a mother. And so I am really, really happy for Halsey. And I hope that this guy is good for her. He kind of looks like Carl Lentz, which throws me off a little bit, and I'm not happy about that, because what happened to him recently. But I hope that this guy's a good guy and treats Halsey well.
Yeah. He's a screenwriter, producer. I think he acts a little bit. He's a little bit older, which I like. I think that hopefully he is stable. He can support Halsey in whatever way that she needs it, because she obviously can support herself just fine. But it seems like they're very excited. They had back and forth Instagram comments in support of what you said, Rhea. Apparently, they did get the Seeds tattoos on their feet on Father's Day last year.
Oh, okay. That adds a little bit more to the
theory. It does.
It
makes me think that maybe they were in the process of trying, because obviously, I think if she was 7 months pregnant right now,
it would be a little...
They also wouldn't...
Yeah, I feel like you announce around 3-4 months.
Yeah, right. Exactly. So, I feel like it happened after...
7 months, it would be like June. Halsey's about to give birth.
Right. But they were probably... Maybe, exactly, that's the thing. Maybe they were trying. That was their plan. They wanted to get pregnant.
Well, that's a beautiful thing. If that's the story, then that makes me tear up.
If they got... Yeah, that's very true. I mean, thinking that they clearly planted that idea...
Right. Literally planted
it, and it blossomed, and here they are.
Oh, that's beautiful.
It is really sweet. It is really sweet.
Congratulations to them. I'm really happy for Halsey.
Yeah.
Apparently, she's been leaving hints out there that nobody caught on to.
It's the same. And sometimes we're just not looking. It's like everyone freaking out when everyone was like, Gigi Hadid revealed her baby's name months ago. We all just weren't looking. We weren't.
It was on an ornament. I'm not zooming into Gigi Hadid's Christmas tree.
Or it was.
Should I start?
It was so tiny on like a basket that you couldn't even read it. People were like, oh, we should have just zoomed in on the basket. I'm like, what?
Why would we do that?
No one did that.
You'd be a crazy person to do that.
How did you even find it now?
Yeah, right?
That was
that. I'd like to know the person who found that, because I think they should be hired as a detective.
Who went back and was like, "Oh, all you idiots! It's clear as day, right there, guy on the basket."
That's crazy. I did see on Dumois that they had submitted it a while ago, saying Halsey's pregnant. Yeah,
they forgot to post it.
And they just never posted it. And so, slipped by
missed
them.
Opportunity.
Missed opportunity by them. But congratulations to them.
I'm very excited for her.
We've talked to you guys about The RealReal before. We think it's the best luxury consignment place to shop, and we love shopping there, obviously. We've gotten a few bags from there. Fran got a ring from there that she loves, a few shoes from The RealReal. I think it's the greatest place to shop for luxury items, but you can also sell your luxury items on The RealReal as well. We all go through, times where we clean out our closet. There are things that we don't use anymore, bags we don't use. They're just sitting up there, whatever it may be, clothes that you don't use, shoes. It could be anything that's sitting around your house or your apartment that you feel like is just taking up space. It's time to clean it out using The RealReal. You can make time and make an appointment with a luxury manager at The RealReal and set up a way for you to be making money off these items, selling your stuff on The RealReal, making money in return. You could do it now. Go to realreal.com, set up an appointment today to start selling your luxury items and start making that money back, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, go to therealreal.com and make your appointment now to meet with a luxury manager. And while you're on there, get yourself something cute. Two people that are famous in the Bachelor franchise.
It's an interesting introduction for them.
Why?
I don't know. It was so vague.
Well, I was gonna get into it. That wasn't my end.
No, it was a tease. It was like two famous Bachelor people.
I didn't know what else. Whatever. Two Bachelor people that are famous in the franchise. Nikki V, aka Nick Viall, and Hannah Brown both have new significant others. This is big for the both of them. I don't remember the last time that we saw Nick with a new girlfriend, and Hannah Brown, she hasn't dated anybody since Jed, I think. So.
I don't know. Yeah, well, obviously the Tyler back and forth stuff, but I don't know. Like, Nick had all those rumors with January Jones. I do think they may have dated briefly, but other than that, there's not a lot of, I don't know, I guess not a lot of heart. He just doesn't seriously date a lot of people, it seems like.
Maybe he does and we just don't know about it, because I feel like he's been dating publicly. I feel like he's been dating this woman for a while now, and we just haven't heard about it. He's 40 years old. She's 23. Obviously, people, they get weird about that stuff, which in my opinion, like, if you two feel like you're compatible, then who are we to be like, a 40-year-old can't date a 23-year-old. Like, once you're past 21, I feel like, 18, I would be like, Nick, what is wrong with you? Like, the girl just turned 18. But once you reach you're kind of getting into your mid-20s.
LA's weird.
It's what?
I said LA is also just like weird.
Yeah, no, and it's also, it depends on where you are, the celebrity culture, Hollywood. Yeah. Nick also does not.
Nick doesn't act. He doesn't actually act like he's 40.
I thought Nick was like 31.
Right.
Meanwhile, he went on The Bachelor when he was 37. Like, Nick's gonna be like, these girls are really talking about my age a lot.
Yeah. It's funny because you say it and like, nobody's really focusing too much on that, which is fine. But when the roles are reversed, it's like, oh, such a big deal. Like Olivia Wilde and Harry Styles, everyone was like, the age, Olivia, she's older, because she's the woman in the relationship. But when it's the man, like Nick, everyone's like, oh, it's fine, which is bullshit. Because Olivia and Harry also fine.
I will say I actually don't think that people say it's fine. I think people call them creepy and weird, and they think, why would an older guy date a younger girl?
Yeah.
And
but I just
like
feel
that young,
I'm
like
thinking
20 year
media-wise,
difference.
like headlines-wise, there were so much more things that were focused on Olivia Wilde's age being older than Harry Styles, and I haven't seen one headline being like, Nick Viall's dating 23-year-old girl, he's 40. Like, it's all just like Nick Viall has a new girlfriend.
No, that's our podcast. Our podcast title this week. Nick Viall is 40 and he's dating a 23-year-old.
Yeah, like it's just Either
way,
but they look very happy.
They're happy. They're Instagram official now, which is huge. Nick also got a brand new house, which looks awesome. Like I see his Instagram stories, and I'm like, that thing. Like, we get it. You got a TV in your big screen in your backyard that looks like a movie theater, but also, we get it and keep posting it.
It's just a bunch of
cool.
bunch of hot people dating hot people. Like this girl, beautiful. She, I believe, is a surgical tech. Now she's dating Nick, handsome man. And it's just like, the Bachelor world, they always just find somebody in that realm. So
I'm happy for Nick. I'm happy for him. Hopefully.
Like I said, he hasn't really publicly had a girlfriend in a long time. So I think for him to be comfortable with like being out on Instagram or whatnot with this girl, then it is pretty serious.
Yeah, I think it is. So rooting for them. And Hannah Brown also has a new boyfriend.
Happy for Hannah too. She's found herself a fucking hunk. This guy's hot.
He is. And honestly, this is what she needed. She needed a hot new boyfriend to get over all the Bachelor guys. Like, just don't have it be anybody in the Bachelor universe, and just get a hot ass boyfriend who hopefully is good to her and makes her happy. I'm like, when it comes to when we find out when somebody else has a new boyfriend, I'm always hoping that the girl is getting treated right. Like, Travis Barker. I'm like, I hope he's treating Kourtney Kardashian right. Halsey's new guy, I hope he's treating her right. I hope this boyfriend treats Hannah Brown right, because she's been through the shitter. So I really hope that he's good for her, but it seems like things are taking off between the two of them.
Yeah, we've seen photographs of them holding hands recently. His name's Adam Woolard. He's a model. Shocking. He is, like I said, very attractive.
Yep.
And also what I love, he does have a public page on like his modeling's agency site, but he has a private Instagram, which I feel like she's found a good guy. He's not trying to cling on to her for any ulterior motives. Private Instagram, you're just trying to live your life. Seems like that's a solid man right there. Right. So he's a model. I think he's also an actor, it says, as well. He's done an ad for eHarmony, which, like I said, beautiful guy. Like, you see him in a dating ad, you're like, I should probably sign up for eHarmony. And he's smart. He earned he graduated with a major in business administration and finance.
Literally, you can only be smart if you graduate college with a degree.
I mean, hey, no. But I'm saying he's got it all. He's got a nice resume.
Yeah, he seems like the whole package.
He's got a nice resume. And the two of them look really good together. So I hope the best for Hannah. People really, like, like to think that we don't like Hannah Brown.
It's insane.
And
it drives me.
It couldn't be farther from the truth.
It drives me nuts.
Yeah.
Because anytime we talked about Hannah Brown's season, first of all, I know before Hannah Brown's season started, we were like, oh no, Hannah Brown's Bachelorette. Are we going to like her? Who knows? And then as soon as the season started, we loved her. She was my favorite Bachelorette that I've ever watched on The Bachelorette. I said it this season. I said I liked her better than both.
Twice.
I said I liked her better than both Tayshia and Claire combined. I really like Hannah Brown. We were always rooting for her. And people just are like, with Dancing with the Stars. When Caitlin Bristowe won Dancing with the Stars, we posted about it. And guess what? When Hannah Brown won Dancing with the Stars, I posted about it on Chicks in the Office.
I also rooted for Hannah Brown.
We voted for her. Yeah. It's crazy to me that people are always like, the Chicks in the Office girls just hate Hannah Brown. I'm like, that is not true at all.
I think it came down to, I don't know if people felt like they needed to pick sides in the Hannah Tyler thing in that kind of situation, and us being friends with Tyler made people think that we hated Hannah or us talking about their relationship, when in reality, Hannah has a new boyfriend, so happy for her, she's such a sweet girl, it's but Hannah and Tyler at the time were not really working, and I feel like just because we voiced our opinion that we didn't think maybe they were the best couple, that people thought we hated Hannah.
Just because we didn't think they were the best couple does not mean anything against Hannah Brown whatsoever.
No.
It, not even a little bit. We were just what are we supposed to say? We think they're the best couple and we don't think that. We're not going to do that. We're not going to be a bunch of liars. And also, we were drunk.
Yeah.
The other time we talked about it, so I don't know. I think it's crazy. And that was the other thing the other day when we said that we were going to talk about her.
Right.
And then it got cut out and people were like, oh, of course you guys said you were going to talk about her and didn't. It's that's not. It was Noah really fucked us there.
Really just
not at all.
Not the case at all. I think Hannah has always been so delightful. She was so nice to us when she came on the show. So it was we have been, the Tyler situation went on, I think, for a long time. And like I said, because we have a friendship with Tyler, things, I feel people thought we were I don't know.
Choosing sides,
I guess. But it's
we just wouldn't do that.
Yeah.
And also,
I don't know, it's weird.
Tyler would never put anybody in that position to do that. That's not the way it goes.
Yeah. Well, because they never really had a bad relationship. It was never I hate
dated.
her, I hate him. It was it was just
that's the thing. That's what people just aren't. Well, they did date on the show.
Yes,
sorry.
Of course,
Excuse me. Please, don't come for me for that. But outside of that didn't happen.
So that's all we. That's that. But
we're happy for her.
Yes, Nick, happy for him. Hannah, happy for her. New relationships. And you know what? I think it's all going to be good stuff. Hannah was on her Instagram talking about struggling with working out and whatnot. She had a bunch of kind of post Dancing with the Stars injury type situations where she hasn't been able to work out, and that's such an outlet for her. So we haven't seen, too much of her on social media too. So at that, this all seems like she's in a great place, which is great. If she can start getting to feel more like herself and get this guy, good for her.
I think she needed a break. It was Bachelorette, Dancing with the Stars,
so much, constant.
all the stuff during quarantine. Stuff happened with her family. Then she had that controversy on TikTok.
Yep.
And then it was one thing after the other and the other.
Right.
And it's at one point your mind is not going to be in the right place. At all. So I'm glad that she took some time off, and it seems like she's happy with this new guy.
The first picture of Kristen Stewart has been released of her playing Princess Diana in biopic entitled Spencer. And look, when this casting came out, we had a loud opinion. We voiced it. We did not hold back. We didn't think it was a good idea. We didn't get it. We can admit when we're wrong. We can absolutely admit when we're wrong. Now, movie-wise, we'll have to watch and see how it goes. But this photo of Kristen Stewart playing Princess Diana might as well be Princess Diana. That's how much it looks like her.
I thought it was Princess Diana.
It looks
I thought the thumbnail was of
like
Princess Diana to trick me into clicking to see what Kristen Stewart looked like of Princess Diana.
Yep.
And it just was
her.
Princess Diana. So I'd like to retract the statements that I made that Kristen Stewart would be the worst pick for this and that she doesn't.
Yeah, we were wrong.
We were wrong.
We can admit that.
Yeah. And honestly, I'd also like to take back me saying that Kristen Stewart's a bad actress.
Yeah.
Because I feel like we got a little carried away. Fran's like, I don't know.
I'm still borderline. I do regret saying it was a bad for this movie because I think maybe that this could be like a huge role for her in that kind of situation. But did you watch the new Charlie's Angels?
I didn't
there's
watch
some
the new
things
Charlie's
that
Angels.
I'm just like, but in that area, like I just feel like she gets typecast a lot, and I felt like that with Charlie's Angels too. As well, that it was a little bit like, oh, the moody girl, the same kind of thing where she doesn't really have a chance to like fully do something different. And she has done plenty of other things that she has been good in, but like playing Princess Diana is so different than anything.
It's an iconic role.
Yeah,
and so
exactly.
it's good for Kristen Stewart.
Yeah.
Once again, I'd like to say that my favorite Kristen Stewart movie is Panic Room with Jodie Foster.
Right.
If you haven't watched that movie, you should. Because Kristen Stewart, as a young actress, was really good.
Yeah, yeah.
Then Twilight happened.
I think she just got some bad roles too.
I don't even know if it was bad roles. I think she got typecast after Twilight because she was so perfect for her role in Twilight.
Right.
Like she played perfectly because it was like awkward and uncomfortable, and then she just became Bella in every movie. It was like you couldn't watch Kristen Stewart without her being. She was also good as Joan Jett on The Runaways.
She was very good. Yeah.
So I liked that. So I'm excited to see her as Princess Diana now. I know that we shit on it before, but after seeing her, bless you.
Oh my goodness, thank you.
After seeing the pictures, and she brings
we're sold.
some ability, I'm sold.
It took was one photo.
All it took one photo, good. And we did say we don't think she would be put in that role if the person who casted her didn't think that she would be good in it. So I'm excited to see.
A picture's worth 1,000 words, as they say. And that picture screams, this is going to be great. Because it just, like you said, everybody, even asking people in the office, everyone thought that was a picture of Princess Diana.
It looks a lot like her.
Yeah. It's very impressive. And the whole premise of the movie is interesting because it kind of seems like it's based around one holiday weekend towards the end of their marriage where things were kind of falling apart and she knew that she wanted to get divorced and things like that. So it's not like a whole span of her, of her life. It's more like a really close look into one specific time. So it does sound very interesting. I think that there has been there's been a growing fascination with Princess Diana, especially after the last season of The Crown. Like, I think a lot of people that are more our age who know who Princess Diana is, obviously, but were too young to kind of realize in the moment at the time what was happening or to even really know the whole story. Mm-hmm. Then they watch shows like The Crown or some of these documentaries, and all of a sudden it's like caught up. It's like, well, now they just want to watch anything that they can watch about Princess Diana. So it does seem like there has been that kind of craze around all of anything that had to do with her life right now. So a lot of people are going to be very, very interested in this movie. And like I said, the picture, spot on.
It is spot on. And I think I need to get more into royal Princess Diana. I never really was interested.
Do you?
I never was interested, but now that everybody else is getting interested, I feel a little more left out because of all these things on Netflix. The documentaries that are coming out. You love it so very much. Mm-hmm. And so maybe I want to learn a bit more.
The thing with The Crown, too, is because there are different seasons with different actors and like different phases of their lives, you can kind of just pick up around, like you can just watch the last season and be fine. Like not really, you don't really need all the back. Of course it helps, if you really want to know everything about more Queen Elizabeth. Like the first few seasons were so around Queen Elizabeth and her becoming queen and her in her younger years and everything and her marriage. And then this last season was almost more focused on Charles and his relationships and more of the children and kind of less the Queen certainly involved, but more about the Queen, Margaret Thatcher, a little because it's just getting closer to current times. So if you wanted to just you don't necessarily have to watch all of The Crown. You could just watch the last season if you wanted to.
That's fine by me.
Yeah.
Because the 4 seasons I don't think I could do, but the last season, sure.
Yeah, exactly. And it's last season of The Crown's fantastic. So I think you would enjoy it. And it really does, you watch it, and all of a sudden you're watching every documentary on Princess Diana that there is. Like Netflix has a few, and I do remember right after The Crown, the newest season came out, it was like, trending whatever, and it's like The Crown, and then all the Princess Diana documentaries, because people were finishing The Crown and then being like, well, now I've got to know more, and then going to watch these other things. So
yeah, that makes sense. I feel like once it's with anything, you dive into something, and all of a sudden you just want to know everything about it. It's a fascination.
Exactly. Big news for Demi Lovato. She is coming back to TV. This is very exciting. She has a new documentary coming out in March that is going to give us a little bit of an inside look into her life the last few years. But it was announced that she will be joining the cast of a NBC sitcom. It's called Hungry. And at first you're kind of like, what's that about?
Yeah.
But according to Deadline, it is going to be a show that follows friends who belong to a food issues group who help each other as they look for love and success. So it does kind of seem like it pulls from a little bit of her real life, which is always good.
Yeah, we talked about this before we recorded the show, and you said the name of the show, and I was like, that seems like what
direction is this going in?
Yeah. Because we want to make sure it's a good thing for Demi Lovato, of course, and it actually seems like this is going to be good. Maybe
almost
she's
therapeutic.
Maybe. Therapeutic, and also shedding light on all these issues in a sitcom, and bringing laughs while also it being a serious topic. Laughter is a way of coping with things. So I think that this is a good thing, and I'm really excited for Demi Lovato. I love Demi Lovato. The only problem I have with it is that it's way too close to the name Young and Hungry. Yeah. And we love Young and Hungry, and they never gave us another show that they just fucking stopped, and that was it. There was
my brain went right to Young and Hungry too when I saw that, and it just gets you pissed all over again.
The ending of Young and Hungry, I can't believe that they did that to us. Yeah. Like, I don't want to spoil it just in case, because I think, honestly, if you're listening to this, you should binge watch the 4 seasons of Young and Hungry, but be prepared to be wildly disappointed at the end because they don't finish it. Yeah. They don't finish it. It sucks that it just ended.
And Freeform was like, this is all you're going to get.
The show was so good. It was funny. It was lighthearted. It had some great storylines.
There were some rumors that they were like gonna finish it in like a TV movie type situation, like they were gonna wrap it all up in just like one like Young and Hungry TV movie. That never happened,
and now we're getting Hungry without the young.
Just Hungry. But it does, I like the idea of it. Demi Lovato is gonna star, she's gonna produce the series, and it's written by Will and Grace writer Suzanne Martin, so you're pulling in a great
Will
writer.
And Grace is great.
Will and Grace, she's got the sitcom expertise obviously, so this all sounds like a great thing. And look,
I love a good sitcom.
Demi Lovato, so do I. And Demi Lovato, this is such a great first step for her, I think, to get back into acting and back into that world, is to do a sitcom, something that's relatable, something that she's passionate about, that she really likes. And maybe, she'll grow in that and do other things in the future, because I love Demi Lovato, the actor. Like Sunny with a Chance
was so good.
Great show.
I had a period of time where I was binge watching Sunny with a Chance during quarantine, just because it was funny. It was funny as fuck. Mackenzie Falls.
Yeah. Did you ever reach the episode of Grey's Anatomy with Demi Lovato?
No. Let's not talk about that.
Okay,
yet.
and I'm just saying.
I had to take a long break.
I know. I'm just saying that she does a guest spot on Grey's Anatomy that she's fantastic. I really do think she's a great actress.
She's a great actress.
Once given the opportunities. Sunny with a Chance
was funny. Sunny, when I went back and watched it during quarantine, because obviously that.
We're like also hilarious. I can't believe we were like criticizing Kristen Stewart's, and we're like, Demi Lovato, amazing actress. Sunny with a Chance, like we're like a Disney sitcom from when we were like 15.
Such assholes. Yeah, we really are. The thing is, you think about those Disney shows that you loved as a kid, and they were so funny to you as a kid, and you watch them back, and you're like, how was I laughing at that?
Yeah,
I was like still laughing at Sunny with a Chance when I was watching it back. So
no, it
was pretty good.
They did have good moments, and. I mean, Camp Rock, obviously. So, so this feels like a good first step back into
protection
the
program.
Princess Protection program.
Sorry, not witness.
Yeah,
Princess
Protection program.
Yeah.
What other ones has she done?
Barney.
Well, yes, but I feel like there were not other Disney Channel movies before that? Camp Rock,
and then Princess Protection Program with Selena.
Yeah. Oh God, those were the good old days, huh?
Those were the good old days. And then some shit happened.
Those were the good old days. Now
that nobody
really
knows about
like
between
other.
Selena and Demi.
Yeah.
That hopefully one day, maybe in her documentary or in a tell-all book in years from now,
maybe
we will hear what happened between Selena Gomez and Demi Lovato, because I'm just dying to know.
Yeah.
And I think everyone else is.
Influences. You know, her Wikipedia is really just about her music and not exactly her acting career. But yeah, I know. I think that, like we said, it's a good way for her to come back into this. And she started with like the sketch comedy type things too. And it'll be good. And I'm excited for it. I'm excited for Demi. Good things are coming this year for her, I feel like. So that's all that matters. We have our interview with Jen Shah coming up. But guys, exciting. It's almost that time of year. The big game is right around the corner. You know what I'm talking about. Everyone gets excited for football, but they also get excited for the commercials. Commercials are a huge part of it. And Coors has found a way to create the most refreshing ad of all time. It's like nothing you've ever seen before. It's going into your dreams. You heard me right. Your dreams. They've been working with a world-renowned dream psychologist. Her name is Dr. Deirdre Barrett, and a team of visual artists to make it happen. So they did this experiment, right? And it's you would watch like a trippy 2-minute video and then fall asleep to an 8-hour long like soundscape. Mm-hmm. And then they would say that they woke up, that they dreamed Coors Coors ads. It's you know,
genius.
Yeah, like look, this people try and do this stuff all the time with dream psychology and everything like that. They conducted this experiment. It's very, very interesting. And now you know you can try this for yourself. There's nothing more refreshing than Coors Light and Coors Seltzer, both of them. Except, you know, sometimes when you get that good dream, you wake up and you feel so great about that dream. So starting February 3rd, you can experience the first big game commercial that you have to fall asleep to watch. Watch the virtual dream stimulus from the comfort of your bed and dream your way into your very own big game commercial. Go to CoorsBigGameDream.com to sign up now to be one of the first to experience it. And, you know, you can share your dreams with @Coors Light on social media, the hashtag Coors Big Game Dream. And like I said, at the website, you can be a part of this groundbreaking experiment and help make the big game ad history. So check it out at CoorsBigGameDream.com and experience the first big game ad that only runs in your dreams. So celebrate responsibly. As always, it's coming from the Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado, and Fort Worth, Texas. All right, everyone, we are here with a special guest, Jen Shah from Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, the new Housewives franchise on Bravo. You guys know how much we love Bravo. You know how much we love the Housewives. So, Jen, we are very excited to have you here. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much. I'm excited to talk to the chicks in the office today.
We're excited to talk to you too, because we haven't gotten into a new Housewives franchise quite like we have Salt Lake City. Salt Lake City is just so unique compared to a lot of the other Housewives shows, and just it's a look into a whole world that we are not familiar with. Like, we are two girls who grow up in, you know, New Jersey and New York. So Utah to us, like seeing what's going on in Salt Lake City, it just seems like a whole different world. But it's great seeing you guys on the show, a whole different dynamic. Can you tell us kind of how this all came to be and how you landed on Salt Lake City Housewives?
Yes. Well, I'm so glad that you both are fans of the show. And it's funny because anytime I'm in New York, since you ladies are East Coast girls, whenever anyone in New York would ask me where I'm from and I say Utah, they were like, wait, Utah? Like, shocked, you know? So I'm glad you love the show. It all came about with a production company was approaching, you know, a bunch of us ladies in Salt Lake City, and I was told they were looking for, you know, women in business, successful women, fabulous women. And so one of my friends referred was working with Heather, and he was like, well, let's call Jen Shah. So that's kind of how it came about. And then from there, they do like a FaceTime interview, and they record it, send it to the network. And when you pass that, then it was like your family gets interviewed and everyone in your life.
Nice. And do you feel like you've been a little more settled in at this point to being new to the franchise?
I still feel like it's a whirlwind right now.
Yeah.
So I don't know if I feel as settled in. I think it's, it's still a whirlwind. It's exciting. But yeah, I'm still got it. There's getting used to everything, these new things every day. Something new is always coming up.
Right. I feel like, you have to get used to filming your life, obviously, at all times. Your family's involved. That adds a whole other aspect. But then when the show's actually airing,
reaction-wise,
you need to now deal with what's happening on the show. Social media plays a big part, and there's a whole other layer to it. So I feel like once you get this season under your belt, do you think that a second season is in store?
I hope so. I've heard rumblings, so I hope so.
Yeah, we hope so too. What was the biggest misconception you had about doing the show that you were like maybe pleasantly surprised about?
She's like,
I
everything.
don't think there was one.
Yeah, she's like, everything has been going it's not been going great.
Yeah. Can you find a little sliver of hope in there?
No, I think, I know what I signed up for.
Yeah.
And so I'm very open with everything because I knew that's what I was signing up for, right? It's a reality TV show. So I went into it like, hello world, here is all of Jen Shah, good, bad, ugly, whatever. And I guess what was most surprising, so I just went into it that way. And I think what was just most surprising to me is watching it back. And I'm like, oh, wait a minute. Okay, I was like, what I didn't realize is not everything's going to be captured, right? We film for hours and hours, and then they condense it down to, 60 minutes. And so I'm like, oh, wow, that I don't really look too good in reacting like that. But so that was kind of my thing, was like, well, wait, hold on a second. That's not the full picture from my perspective. But, it is what it is. I signed up for it and I knew that going into it. And I mean, overall, I think that the experience has been great and the platform is amazing.
Yeah, definitely. Now, what was your relationship like with the other women on the show? Like, did you know them before you guys started filming, or did you meet some of them for the first time to start the show?
I knew Heather. I knew Heather before filming. I knew Lisa. We didn't hang out a lot, but I knew her. Yeah. Like we'd, been to like social things together. I knew Meredith only because, she had a storefront in Park City. So, but Heather and I were, actual friends going into the show. Mary M. Cosby is the only one that I met like maybe 5-6 months before when we were going through the process.
Right.
Did you grow up in Utah?
I grew up in Utah from about the age of 6. Utah and Hawaii.
Mm-hmm. Utah, it's just like
it's such a different
it's the total
world.
Same New York reaction that you get every time you come here.
Because you hear so many things, I feel like, about Utah, and it's like,
it
just seems like a totally different world. How do you think your life, obviously besides being on reality TV now, but just the lifestyle in general and religion and things of that nature have changed from when you grew up there, from when you were 6 years old to later on in life?
That's a great question. It's, we definitely have more diversity there now than before. And by more diversity, like there's me and maybe 3 other families that are Black and Polynesian. But I mean, honestly speaking, it's like, 40 years ago, that's why I talk about it on the show. People thought in Utah that I was Black because there were not a lot of minorities 40 years ago. And so they just didn't know, I mean, and now today, obviously, there's a lot more diversity. The Polynesian, Hawaiian, and Tongans. There's a lot of Hawaiian Polynesians there in Utah now. So that makes up a large, population of minorities there in Utah. And there's a lot more diversity now. Religious also, there's a lot more diversity in religion. I mean, when I was growing up, you were Mormon and that was it. Like you didn't play with anybody if they weren't Mormon, if that makes it was. Yeah. I don't remember meeting anybody growing up when I was little that wasn't Mormon. And if they weren't Mormon, it was like, oh my gosh, what? Like that was the norm. Now it's like, it's not the norm. We've got all different kinds of religions there, so that it's more diverse. It's still, don't get me wrong, Mormon is the dominant religion in the state, and it's definitely a culture as well there. But I feel it's a positive culture as far as very family oriented, businesses. I have an office in New York and an office in Utah. Now my office in New York, if somebody wants to go home at 5 p.m., I'm like, what's wrong with you? But if they want to go home at 5 p.m. in Utah, it's like, okay, yeah, because that's, the culture, right? Yeah. So, yeah.
Yeah, and that's why the show is so great too, because I think it shows a lot of different sides that you may not expect, because there are women who, grew up Mormon, but are, like you said, women like yourself who have embraced other religions now, or have, gone through divorce. And because of that, it's like there's a little bit of a strain in their relationship with the church. So it's very interesting to see from that dynamic. I want to ask you about this season. And first, I will tell you this. So we're in, this interview is happening on Wednesday afternoon. It will air on Friday. So everyone listening will have seen part 2 of Vegas tonight that we'll be watching. Rhea and I have watched the episode already. We just got to say, the Vegas, it was a wild ride. How are you feeling watching those episodes back? Because I think these were rough episodes for you. I think it's got to be kind of hard to watch this stuff back, right?
Yeah, these have been some rough ones. I mean, I think it's so funny because every week Lisa will call me and she'll be like, Lisa Barlow, and she's like, girl, you know what? It's gonna be a rough one. I'm like, Lisa, don't do that. Why are you doing that? Like, why are you telling me? Yeah. Why are you giving me PTSD before I even watch the episode? So, no, these were some rough ones, and there was a lot of emotion in it for me, because my family's so important. And when watching it back, it is hard. I mean, I don't like, I wish I would have reacted maybe a little bit differently, but that emotion that you see, that emotion would not have changed. I would have still been that upset, but I wish I would have controlled, my emotions, a little bit more. But it was I was going through a lot at that time. And I was so hurt about Coach Shah's birthday party, because we were going through some things, right, in our marriage. I just told him. And that's the first party I had. And I was really trying to, be present in the marriage, give him more because I wanted more back, and, just really trying to put forth effort. And I had specifically talked to Whitney about that. So that's why at my party, I was like, girl, really? Like, you got to do that now? Yeah. And then it still parlays into the Vegas trip, because somebody, she decided to tell me something at Coach Shah's party, and then she's adamant that, Lisa and Meredith said something. But then we get to Vegas, and all of a sudden we sit down at the table, and Lisa and Meredith are like, oh, we talked to Whitney and she apologized. And I'm like, oh, okay. Because I'm waiting for the next step. If Whitney apologized, then that means Whitney was lying. Mm-hmm. Like, that's what I'm waiting for, right? So if you all are kumbaya, okay, hi, you guys ruined Coach Shah's party. Who lied then? I felt like we were back at square one.
Yeah. How did...
You know what I mean? And so there was no accountability there for me.
Right.
I was like, okay, then who's lying?
Right. How did none of this, and maybe it's something we didn't see or something they didn't include, because for the viewer watching, it was almost frustrating, because it was like, how did Mary get away without any issue? Like, if Whitney is saying that Mary is the one who told her in the first place that Meredith and Lisa were afraid of you, no one's blaming Mary here. If Mary made that up, like it did, like Meredith and Lisa, I can see them being like, oh, well, maybe Whitney was the messenger, but Meredith and Lisa, from what we saw, didn't confront Mary at all about it, which was so confusing because it's like this all started from Mary.
Right. And so that's your confusion is like where I'm at in Vegas, which is why it brought me back to like square one I was so frustrated going, you ruined the most important night of my life right now because I'm really trying. And now it was like we're stuck in limbo and no one's owning it. I just wanted somebody to take accountability. And also, I'm not the type of person that's going to be like, oh yeah, let me just sit here and let's be fake. No, who said what? Because we can't move forward or have any resolution until we know, or I know, like who has an issue or what your thoughts, Yeah. So to me, it was very confusing to me because I felt like it was getting swept under the rug and there was no real accountability to it.
Yeah.
And like you said, it's confusing to the viewers when there's a lot of stuff that's cut out of it, because I'm sure there were many other conversations that were had, but the way that it's edited and chopped up, you only see a little bit of it. Mm-hmm. And then that's when people get online and get on social media and they're talking about the episode and then they just attack.
Yeah. And I feel like I've been the one on the receiving end of the attacks. And it's like, it's been hard and it's been rough because like the entire picture is not coming across, mm-hmm. I think to people. And that's so I guess in a long roundabout way to answer your question. Yep. These episodes are hard to watch, the last few for me. Right. And especially Vegas. There's a lot that happened, especially at when we went to that hypnotist house that's, obviously isn't able to be shown. And that was hard for me to sit there and not be able to express and talk, so that was a tough one.
We saw her, the hypnotist, kind of cut you off a couple times when you were trying to talk with the women, and it must have been hard because you think that these ladies are your friend, but when you guys did that whole trust, who do you trust, who do you not trust, all of the ladies said that they didn't trust you. How did that feel in that moment, having all these women like raise their hand and be like, yeah, we don't trust Jen?
It felt terrible because I had no idea that the women felt like this. And so it was very hurtful because I don't know anything if you don't tell it to me to my face. And so all this stuff had been going on behind the scenes where, nobody addressed it. So to hear that and see that, it was hurtful. And then when I raised my hand and when they said who trusts Heather and doesn't trust Heather and I raised my hand, it's because Heather and I were closest and I felt like, girl, come on. Like, why out of anybody, right, at that time, how do I not know what you're feeling?
Yeah. And it kind of feels like,
because she raised her hand too. And that's why.
Yeah. Right. It feels like almost like all the girls are talking shit behind your back, but they're not just saying it to your face. Whereas if you guys had a conversation face to face and everyone was really open with their feelings, you'd probably get through this a bit faster. But the good thing is, even though you're going through social media is so hard when it comes to, I feel like, reality TV and stuff like that, because they forget that if they were filmed 24/7, they would also probably look shitty sometimes. But I feel like in every franchise and every series, somebody goes through a downfall, but then the next season, things pick back up for them. So I feel like it may be rough right now, but there's a redemption story coming.
Okay, I hope so.
Yeah, and I do think that a lot of these, at least watching, it does seem like these women are able to have conversations and openly talk about things and maybe mend relationships and whatnot. So I feel like hopefully you can have great relationships with all those women. The only one that I from watching, it seems like you will never be friends with is Mary. Is that true?
You know, from my perspective, I'm like, I'm very easy to like get along with. Like, you know, once we talk it out, like, okay, let's move forward. I'm very forgiving. I have a big heart. And so I think it's just going to be up to what Miriam Cosby's feeling that day. But I would agree with you. That's probably the one that's like the question mark.
And look, from our perspective, watching like Mary, not for us. It's like, I don't know. There are certain things, it's the way she acts sometimes where it's like, I don't know. I don't know her. Like, I think you and so many of these women have opened up so well and have let us into your lives so intimately. Especially you, Jen. I think that, you know, some of these conversations we've seen you have with your husband and these very intense moments, you don't see on a lot of Housewives franchises, because sometimes they kind of hide if there's any, you know, relationship stuff going on. They don't share it as much, but we got to see that from you, which is great. And sometimes with Mary, I'm just like, I don't know her. I don't get her. I feel like what I'm just seeing is this shiny toy, and I have no idea who she actually is.
Yeah.
Right. And that's what, you know, like I mentioned before, going into this, I was like, oh, this is just, I'm supposed to, if I sign up for this, I'm supposed to show everything. And, you know, I think that's why for me, when I've been asked questions like, you know, do I feel certain people have been real or authentic? I think, you know, maybe they weren't 100%, you know, like you were just saying, like not showing everything, the good, the bad, and the ugly.
Yeah.
Where I came in, I was like, yo, I'm effed up. So here you go, guys.
That's the way to do it. How are things now with your husband? Because obviously, like we said, you're showing everything, what's happening between you guys. Where are you guys at right now?
We're doing great. We've been able to spend more time together because of COVID.
Right.
So that's been one blessing out of the whole last year. Yeah. So we've been able to spend more time together, and you know, we're still working through things, but we're definitely in a great place. I've definitely gone on a journey, and I've evolved over the last year, you know, finally dealing head on with my father's death and respecting the stages of grief that they are real. And even Jen Shah can't get my assistant can't deal with it. I got to deal with it. you know? I can't put it off to the side. So, you know, the show was really great for me because it forced me to put everything out there and deal with it. Where before I was just like, no, I'm busy with work. We're going to open another office, launch another product, do whatever, because that was my way of, you know, not dealing with the reality of my situation. So the show was great for me because it forced me to do that and tell my husband what was going on with me.
How has it been for you guys watching it back? Do you guys all watch together? Does Coach Shah watch the show? Do your sons watch the show?
Oh, hell no. No, we don't watch it together.
I couldn't imagine doing that, to be completely honest. I couldn't even imagine watching myself. Yeah. Like I
There's a bunch of times too where, so Coach Shah, you know, everything is recorded, and he will literally, and you know, he's a coach, a Pac-12 coach, so he's used to watching film, hours and hours of film, and grading it and critiquing it. So that's what he does with the Housewives show. And he watches it, critiques it. He comes back, and I'm just like, oh, here we go. And he's like, okay, so Cupcake, because that's what he calls me. He's like, Cupcake, I gave you like a B- on this episode because there's a couple things we can work on.
That's amazing.
That's unreal. He comes back with an entire game plan for you for next season.
Yep.
Oh yeah, no, he does. He comes in with a game plan. He came in with the game plan. When we were going to reunion. He's like, okay, so here's what we're going to do up on the whiteboard. I was like, okay.
That's unreal. I love that.
That's so great. That's a fun dynamic to have for watching this back. We are going into the finale, so we only have an episode left before, like you just mentioned, we see the reunion. I know that everybody's first reunion is a wild ride, and I know you can't tell us too much, but any hints on how this reunion is going to go down?
I wasn't sure what to, expect going into it, other than, I've seen some reunions, and it was, I'll tell you what, I slept for 2 days after the reunion. Literally.
Yeah. Yep. Just a little hibernation.
I had to take a Xanax after and pass out.
Oh man. Well, yeah.
I think you guys, you will be there's some surprising moments in the reunion that I don't think, are expected. I know I was surprised. And yeah, it was just, gosh, I don't know. I'm still recovering from the
one
reunion.
word to describe it. One word to describe the reunion.
Explosive.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
That's the best.
We I understand
word
it's your
for
life, but for reality TV purposes, we enjoy explosive.
Explosive. It definitely.
Okay, then you're gonna love the reunion.
Yeah, definitely pulls us in. Jen, thank you so much. Thank you so much for joining us and talking about this season. We're so excited to see it come to an end and watch the reunion, and hopefully can't wait for a season 2. So thank you so much for joining us.
Yes, thank you. Have a great day. Thank you so much.
Bye. Thank you so
Jen.
much.
Thank you.
Bye.
All right, that wraps up today's episode of Chicks in the Office. We hope you guys enjoyed it. We hope you have a lovely weekend. Treat yourselves well. Maybe get some good food, watch some good TV shows, whatever it is. Treat yourself, and we'll talk to you on Monday. Love you all. Good night.